Hey scrappers, if you're looking to figure out what materials you should sell this week or hold this week, now is the time to do it. Our weekly report is going to give you that information, up-to-date market news, pricing. Let's get right into it and we'll talk about it inside. Hey scrappers, it's Tom here, and today, welcome to the Ides of March. I believe the days of Julius Caesar and the Romans, the March 15th. So the Ides of March are here and they're upon us, and unfortunately, they're not going so well to start today. We're looking at some of these markets and we're seeing some downturns, but we'll talk about that a little later. One thing I want to talk about is a forward prediction on copper that I read in a few different articles talking about copper prices from 2023 through 2030. The undersupply of the copper market versus the overall demand seems to be the underlying theme in a lot of these articles that I'm reading. What does that mean? That means there's not enough copper to quench the demand that's going to be needed. And that's a good thing when it comes to scrap when you look at the long term, right? Sometimes you want to look at prices. Oh, what are the prices today? And a lot of people ask us, well, how do I know what the prices are going to be in a few months? How do I know when it's a good time to sell? Well, these are some of the things that we look at to give you an idea what's going to happen longer term. So as the infrastructures get built out for electric vehicles, as the infrastructures get built out in developing companies, as the infrastructures get rebuilt in companies and in countries, even the United States, that have old systems, right? More copper is going to be needed. What does that mean? That means that we're going to need more of a supply. Well, we're seeing supply shortages in many areas of the world. I read about China having 52% of the world's copper consumption, but that number expects to be decreased in the next few years, going from 52 to 47% by 2030. So you have that decreasing, which means other people are going to have to increase. Now, copper supply is not only going to come from recycling it, but also going to come from the mining operation. So I read about a bunch of mines that have come online in Chile, in South America. So we will have more copper coming into the market, but as 7 billion people are on this planet and growing, we're going to need more infrastructure, which means the demand for copper is going to continue to be on the uptick over the next 5 to 6 years. So there's your kind of forward outlook for that. Let's jump back into the Ides of March, though. What is copper doing over the last few days? Well, we talked last week about the markets having a little bouncing back and forth, and that continues to be true. Today, I'm looking at prices right now. Copper is down 3.5%. That equates to about 13 cents per pound, and it's trading at $3.87. Well, copper was trading at $4.26, so we're talking about a swing of almost 40 cents in about a 9-day trading period. So 5 cents a day, that's a big drop, 4 or 5 cents a day overall. We don't want to see those large market swings. So I still continue to say sell some of the materials that you have, because what are we watching? A potential banking problem. If you've turned on the news in any way, shape, or form the last 3 or 4 days, you saw the SVP bank out in California having problems. You saw a bank out in New York having problems. We never like hearing banks having problems. Those affect the entire market, unless it's like a one-off bank. If it's any type of a mid-sized to larger bank, and even multiple smaller ones, that causes problems in the financial system. That causes problems in the commodity system. And that's what I'm looking at today. Here I'm looking at palladium prices down just today, 6.5%. I'm looking at platinum prices just today, the 15th, down 4.28%. I'm looking at the copper prices again, down 3%. Rhodium prices down 3%. Gold prices were at $1,900, and now gold is trading at, hold on, I can pull it up here. Gold prices was over 1,900. Now gold prices are going to 1,925. Why are gold prices going up? People put more money and investment in gold in times of financial crises because they find it to be a safe haven. So gold prices going up is expected, right? But what we look at with these markets, why we tell you what's going on every single week, is so you know week to week where your finger is on the pulse. If you see, I've been recommending selling copper, selling brass, selling insulated copper wire, selling your non-ferrous. We saw the aluminum prices start to have a decline in March. We saw the reported prices coming in, starting to see those prices slipping. Now, we're in the third month of the first quarter, right? So, a lot of stuff going on financially, a lot of things getting ready for reporting, but we also have the Federal Reserve talking about interest rates going up. What does that mean? It's going to be more expensive to build things like homes and businesses and commercial properties, because now the money that companies are going to borrow from banks, right, is going to be more expensive to repay on the interest side of things. Think about mortgages. In 2021, you could have got a mortgage rate of 3%. In 2023, you're going to get a mortgage rate of 7%. That equates to hundreds of dollars a month in additional home prices and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars a month, if not millions, on the commercial development side. So these are things that we look at to figure out where the pulse is on the commodities prices. It's hard for me to tell you every week, sell, buy, hold, but I've been kind of preaching for a little while. You have a little instability in these markets. And when you have instability in the markets, that's going to hurt your pocket when it comes to the dollars that you're selling at the scrapyard. 13 cents down. The next thing that I'm going to be doing this morning is going to be going and changing my prices. You have copper prices drop 13 cents before the market opens at 9:30 in the morning. Well, who knows what's going to happen for the rest of the day? 3 cents, 4 cents, those are normal trading patterns. 13 cents, 3.5%, that is an issue. And those are the things that we look at every week. On top of that, fuel costs continuing to stay stable. What we have not seen, even with some of the fuel costs decreasing, even though I said they're stable now, they have decreased over the last few months. Transportation has continued to be expensive. And I said this 6 or 7 months ago, when the fuel prices went all the way up and trucking companies started raising their prices on moving things, that price wasn't going to go down quickly, because even if the fuel costs go down, why would the trucking industry want to decrease their prices when they got an artificial run up because of the fuel prices? And at the time, it wasn't artificial because, fuel prices went up. But as they've gone down, we haven't seen their prices. Gas and copper and food and other commodities are continuing to cost more money to move on the trucking side of things. And I'm not blaming truckers. I love truckers, right? But those are the things that happen to the worldwide and domestic markets that affect scrap prices. It's really that simple. Someone was asking me about lead batteries the other day. When are the price of batteries going up? Probably no time soon. People don't want to move batteries in their trucks anymore. Prices for batteries have decreased as the electric vehicle push has increased, because lead isn't really a component in electric vehicles. So when you have millions of pounds of scrap car batteries and the lead is being extracted from them, and you can't just make them into more car batteries because they're going into these new electric vehicle-based batteries, nickel cobalt, lithium ion. You don't hear lead mixed in there, nickel cadmium. Again, no lead. Right. So the lack of demand for lead is going to hit those battery prices. So these are more things that you should be looking at. So when you check out the market, check out what we say every week. This way, and you have your finger on the pulse week to week. Click on the iScrap app on your phones. If you're looking for even more information, our members only content that we publish through YouTube is going to give you more information on the markets. You can check that and become a member today. But the markets are still strong. We just have short-term problems that get worked out in the outside world that affect our market. So if you're looking to hold on to copper, go for it, but know that it may take a period of years for that increased demand to push out there. So, watch these things. So that gives you an idea of what's going on. Catalytic converter prices, we did see an increase, but now with these drops this morning of 4 to 6% for these different base metals, we will see a decrease. So our average catalytic converter price is down to about $115, $120 on OEM CATs. Copper prices are now going to be having a little bit of a swing downwards with these pricing drops. So over the last few weeks, we've seen some prices reported that aren't going to be out there anymore. So don't be surprised on that. Aluminum markets are down. Steel markets are strong. Brass markets are strong following that copper trend. But overall, the markets, while they are weakening, they're still strong when you compare them to 3 or 4 months ago before the holidays. So that gives you a little optimism going into the second quarter of 2023 that we could see a bit of an uptick here. So let us know in your comments below if there's other things that you want us to talk about. We have a few videos coming out in the coming weeks from comments that other YouTubers and members have been able to push out there. So comment below any ideas you have. Let us know. And until next week, scrappers, I'm Tom, and I'll scrap you later.
Thanks for checking out this scrap video. For more exclusive scrap video content, please become a YouTube member of our channel today. Thank you, and I'll scrap you later.